and welcome back to Summit Sunrise. I am here in the studio. We are talking real estate with Henry Barr from RE/MAX Properties of the Summit, and we were just chatting and catching up and talking about you've been in the county for a very long time.
I've been in the county since 1978 and been in real estate all but 6 months of that. From the first 6 months, I commuted over to Beaver Creek to work for Vail Associates to design an employment program over there, but did every probably parent's nightmare. About 6 months later, called my folks back east, told them I bought my first house in the morning, and in the afternoon told them I quit my job.
Nice. So they were probably like, wow, this is a really loaded phone conversation.
Exactly. So, and I've been doing real estate ever since. So that's been about 34 years, 35 years.
Nice. So you are definitely an expert, I would say, in the Summit County market. And you know, we're pretty unique. We're a resort community. How would you say that the Summit market kind of compares to maybe some other areas that you've worked in over the years?
Well, that's really hard because I really have not worked in any other markets. I've only worked in Summit County, and I don't go out of the county at all, really, other than maybe a little bit to the north. It would be the south side of Grand County, just doing some ranch properties. But for the most part, it's all in Summit County. And so I can only really relate to this market here in Summit County. In my travels around just the country, visiting family and so forth, I would say our market is probably a little bit better than most markets that I see. We sure have not been isolated. We've not been immune to the national economy. Our market has taken a drop. It's dropped anywhere from probably 15 to 25% across the board. And some areas have dropped more, some have dropped less, but pretty much a 15 to 25% drop is pretty realistic as to what's happened in improved property, with vacant land dropping even more than that.
So would you say that it is a buyer's market or a seller's market at this current climate?
It is still a buyer's market, and that's really one of the reasons I wanted to come talk today about that. It's a very strong buyer's market. It has been a buyer's market probably for the last 3 to 4 years. I do see that beginning to change. I don't think it's going to be a quick change, but I would look for, by the end of this year, I think we'll see a definitive change in the marketplace, where it will be more of an equilibrium going into next year. But right now I see it's probably the last really good year for a buyer's market. All the factors are still in place to make it a buyer's market.
Well, that's good news. I'm sure ears are perking up for those people that were maybe a little bit curious if now was the time to buy. And, you know, talking just about prices, have you seen any of that activity begin to rebound? You know, I know that was a big hot topic in the last several years about prices fluctuating. Have you seen any sort of change specifically in the Summit County market?
No. And I really don't expect to. I don't see the pricing changing for a while. We've got too much inventory, and there are too many pressures to keep the prices in check for a while. They won't always remain this way, but I think for this year in particular, the prices will probably stay about where they are. They may bounce up and down 5% either way, but I don't think you're going to see a large fluctuation in price, at least through third quarter. I think what will happen with the summer's inventory will really tell us what happens with prices. But we have what we call shadow inventory. It's different than in anywhere else in the country. Shadow inventory for other places in the country talk about banks' foreclosure that they're holding on their books, not willing to sell. We have sellers not willing to sell, that are well-heeled, that they've just taken it off the market and have not put it on the market. And so there's a lot of that inventory yet to come onto the market, and I think that will sort of keep a lid on prices taking a dramatic rise, at least in the foreseeable future.
Well, I think that's probably good news to buyers' ears who are a little bit worried, because you know you never know when things are going to fluctuate. But you know, there are so many different things that go into purchasing a home or to financing. Have banks become any less stringent on any of those lending regulations? What are you finding from kind of the buyer's standpoint?
I'm really not. I mean, there's so much talk about the banks being so much more stringent, and you know, yes and no. I don't think the banks are that much more stringent as far as what I'm seeing in buyers qualifying. You know, you still got to have a job. You got to be able to prove you have a job. You got to be able to have tax returns, and you've got to be able to put a reasonable amount down. Now, for locals, that can be anywhere from 3% down, and actually just did one with less than that down on a local under a special situation. But you know, locals 10% down is not unreasonable, and for second homeowners it's 20% down. Where we're finding the banks really being problematic is approving the properties. We're having more problems now approving properties, particularly condominiums, than we ever did in the past. The only other time close to this was the mid-'80s and the crisis in the mid-'80s. But we're having more problems really in getting properties approved than we are with people being approved.
Huh, interesting. Well, and I know that you and I chatted a little bit before we went live, and I was asking, if this was a busy time, a slower time with, kind of the resorts winding down, but you said it's pretty busy right now.
It's been very busy. I can tell you from a personal experience, it's probably the busiest first quarter I've seen in 5 to 7 years.
Oh, wow.
On a personal experience, looking at the county statistics aren't quite that aggressive. We're seeing about the same amount of activity as we did last year. We're seeing a little bit more activity in the north side of the county than we are in the Breckenridge side of the county. Last year was the opposite. The Breckenridge side of the county first quarter was a lot stronger than the north side. So we're seeing a little bit change in geographic, but when you take the whole county as a whole, we're just about even from what we were last year.
Good. Well, it's good to be even and not down, I think.
Exactly so.
So where can people get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about some of your listings or what you do?
They can go to my website is an easiest way. It's a non-sign-in website. It is we're not tracking, we're not capturing anybody's name on it. Go to it. It's henryebarr.com. Okay. It's as easy as it gets. Or you can call me at my office, and you can call me at my office in Frisco, the Remax Properties of Summit on Frisco Main Street, across from the Boatyard, next to Toscados. We're there 7 days a week, pretty much from about 8:15 in the morning to probably 6, 7 at night.
Right, so nice central location right there in Frisco, but I would suggest definitely checking them out online. We showed that website up on the screen. Looks like
great.
It's very user-friendly,
yes.
Easy to navigate, which is always such a relief, especially with the real estate world, I think.
We try to make it easy. We try to make it as easy and friendly, and we've had tremendous comments that it is a very easy to navigate. There's not a lot of miscellaneous information there. There's mostly all real estate information, and people can check everything that's listed in the county on that website.
Perfect. All right. Well, it all starts with that first visit to the website or giving Henry a call, or you can just stop by the office in Frisco as well. So wonderful to have you on this morning. Great to meet you, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Great. Thank you very much.
It's time for us to take a quick break here on Summit Sunrise. We got lots more coming up, including our Watch and Win. We're giving away $25 to Oolers in Breckenridge, so stick around.